Okay, so good day, everyone. So today we begin our discussion on foundation and contemporary perspective of educational leadership. So educational leadership is more than holding an administrative position or ensuring that institutional policies are followed. It is a purposeful process of influencing people, establishing a shared vision, improving teaching and learning, and creating conditions in which students, teachers, and wider school community can succeed. Now, its nature is both relational and transformational because effective leadership depends not only on authority, but also on trust, communication, collaboration, ethical judgment, and commitment to service. No? Its scope extend from classroom and departmental leadership to school administration, higher education governance, educational policy, and leadership within local, national, and global context. This topic also invites us not to distinguish leadership from management. Management focuses mainly on planning, organizing, staffing, budgeting, monitoring, and maintaining institutional stability, while leadership emphasizes vision, influence, motivation, innovation, and meaningful change. Educational institutions need both leadership without sound judgment may produce inspiring ideas that are poorly implemented, while management without leadership may maintain efficient system that lack direction and responsiveness. As mighty students and present or future educational leaders, we must therefore examine how educational leadership has evolved from traditional administrative and bureaucratic models to instructional, transformational, distributed, servant, ethical, adaptive, and technology-enabled approaches. We should also reflect on the rules, responsibilities, competencies, challenges, and characteristics required of leaders who must guide educational institutions through uncertainty and continuous change. With this initial perspective in mind, we are now ready to explore the topic more comprehensively, and our presenter will discuss the meaning, nature, and scope of educational leadership, distinguish leadership from management, trace its historical development, and examine the roles, responsibilities, levels, and competencies of educational leaders. So this presentation will also address contemporary challenges, future-ready leadership characteristic, institutional stewardship, and educational leadership in the Philippine and global context. At this point, may I now give the floor to our presenter. Please help us understand not only the theories and concept associated with educational leadership, but also their practical application in actual educational setting. Everyone is encouraged to listen critically, connect the discussion with personal and professional experiences, and prepare insights or questions for our open forum. Or you may post your additional information in our chat box. Or if you have some question, clarification, you just also post your question or clarification in our Zoom chat box. Madam, you may now begin your presentation.
Anyway.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Hi, everyone. I'm Maria Angelica D. Calabon. So I'll be the reporter for today. So before that, I would like to have first your
Hindi kita
not totally.
narinig, ma'am.
Can you hear me, guys? Hello? Naririnig niyo po ako?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, again, my name is Maria Angelica D. Calabong. I'll be the reporter for today. But before that, can I have a react first if you're present today? Anyone? Any react po? You can use like or heart. Yes. So thank you so much for participating. So I have here a short game. So I would like to ask for your cooperation for my report. So this is entitled Code Breaker. Sorry. So the instruction is decode the leadership related words by converting each number to its corresponding letter. So for example, A is equivalent to number 1. So B is equivalent to number 2 until letter Z, equivalent to number 26. So, you can use our chat box, okay, if you don't want to use your microphone, okay? So, let's start. So, number 1, can you identify the 4 letters? Okay, you can use our chat box. So, okay, yes. Thank you so much, Sir Salvador. You're correct. It's lead. Okay, so next. Thank you so much for participating, guys. So next one. So it is 8 words. Anyone? Okay, you can use our chat box. Oh yeah, thank you so much, Ma'am Hermogenes. You're correct. It's teamwork. Okay, thank you so much. Next, so this is 5 letters. So this is a total of 4 words only. Trust, yes. Ang bilis ni Sir Salvador. Thank you. And last word is, oh, okay, nasabi ko na. So, vision. Thank you so much. So, these 4 words are very important in my topic for today. Okay? So, yeah. So, everyone, can you read po the title of my discussion today?
Foundations and Contemporary Perspectives of Educational Leadership.
Okay, thank you so much. So, from the, isa-isahin muna natin para mas maintindihan natin. So, let's check the words that use in the title. So, from the word foundation, this will be the basis. And contemporary, it means this is the time that we have today. Okay, so we are part of the contemporary era. And next is the perspective. So this is the perspective or point of view of each person and of course the educational leadership. So what does my topic talks about? So it talks about contemporary perspective in educational leadership focus on modern approaches. So since any one of us can be a leader since we are part of the academe. Okay? So, ang topic ko kasi ngayon is, we're gonna talk about the approaches of leadership that respond to the changing needs of teachers, especially in our curriculum as of the moment. Okay? So, let's move on. Okay. So, understanding leadership, developing competencies, and preparing for the future. So actually, this is the main goal of studying educational leadership for preparing someone o tayo, pwede rin yung mga student natin, preparing them for the future. Okay? So, when you hear the word leader, what is the first word that comes to your mind? You can use our chat box again. So we have a total of 7 participants today. So kayo, just in one word, what do you mean by a leader? Or sa madaling salita, kung kayo ay tinaguri ang leader, ano ba yung characteristic na meron kayo? Okay, yeah. So si Ma'am Manlansing should be a guide para sa mga subordinates. So kay Sir Randy naman is visionary, and kay Sir Layo is someone that lead with example. So in this question, there is no right or wrong answer, since this is our own perspective as a contemporary teacher or educator. And yeah. Okay, so pareho kayo nasagot ni Sir Paul. So yeah, so that's all correct. Thank you so much. Next. So what is educational leadership? So when we say educational leadership, guys, it talks about it involves influencing and guiding people and systems towards shared educational goals and improve learning outcomes. Okay, so it talks about lives and career. Okay, so next. So from the word here, wait lang. So educational leadership involves influencing, guiding toward the people or the system or people of learning environment. Okay? So tayo ay naghuhubog tayo dito ng tao, which is tayo as an educator or a future leader. Okay? Next. Wait. Paano? Wala. Okay, next one. Ay, wait lang. Hindi pala. One moment. Okay. So here, sino ba yung sakop ng mga future leader? So, who do you think is, when we talk about the people of educational leaders, sino po ba yung mga educational leader? Can you give one example? Yeah, teachers. Number one yan. Of course, teachers. Sino pa po? Pag sinabi nating educational leaders, sino kaya yung mga yun? School head, yes. Yung mga ating mga principal. What else? School admin, yes. And last another one answer na lang so that we can proceed. And yeah, our DepEd secretary. So yung mga nasa taas po, sila po yung number one na scope nitong educational leader. Kasi sila yung pinaka parang, alam niyo, parang boss natin. So so under nun, yung division, and then under the division is our school head, and then under that is the teachers. Right? Okay. So how does leadership work? Paano nga ba daw talaga gumagawa or paano ba nagpa-process itong leadership? So, of course, number one, we set vision. Next is engage people. So, syempre, kailangan may vision ka as a leader, di ba? Kasi ikaw yung sinusundan natin eh. Ikaw yung nagli-lead. Okay? Engage people. So, you need to engage your people. So, kailangan you have a harmonious relationship towards your people. And then, make decision. You need to take action. So, after the decision making, you need to implement your action and then evaluate. So, when we evaluate, we need to be critical thinker when talks about leadership. So, we need to know the pros and cons. And of course, we create change. So that would be for the better future. Okay. So how does leadership actually work? So when we say leadership, So it works through a process. So ito na yung process niya. Okay? So again, for a leader, it sets vision and the goal. Okay? So yung goal mo dapat attainable yan. Okay? Next, they influence and inspire people. Kaya tayong as a leader, kahit naman hindi pa sa educational, kahit naman sa groupings lang, 'di ba, sa classroom, you need to lead kasi ikaw yung sinusundan ng mga tao. Kasi hindi kayo makakapag-perform ng maayos, 'di ba? Kapag may groupings tayo, kapag nakikita natin yung group mates pati yung leader hindi nagkakasundo, ang tendency is nagkakaroon sila ng outcome or negative outcome. Okay? So next. So I have here a scenario. Okay, guys. So I have here scenarios. Can you locate or can you identify which one is what do you call it? Which one is showing a good leadership? A, B, or C? And then can you tell me why? Okay, so for you, Sir Charles, why do you think it is letter B? So again, there's no right or wrong answer. Okay, so Sir Charles, why do you think it is letter B?
Kasi po as a leader, um, we need to motivate our colleagues, 'di ba? Uh, and also part yun ng pagiging ano po yung ah, teamwork nyo. May natutunan sa yung colleague mo, may meron ka rin matututunan sa kanya. Ganun po.
Okay, thank you so much. Yes. And as part of contemporary world, 'di ba? I mentioned earlier, we create change. So by motivating people, so hindi ka lang yung nagmo-motivate sa people as a good leader, they motivate you as well. So kumukuha ka din ng idea from others. Hindi tayo like the traditional one na kapag sinabing leader ay tayo ay sumusunod lang. So right now, meron na tayong voice. Okay? And that's a, one thing good about our educational system. Okay? Next. Ayan. So, leadership versus management. Okay? So, can you type na lang po? Ako na lang yung magsusulat dito. So, sino yung pwedeng saan kayo pwedeng maglagay? Leadership versus management. Okay? Can you give characteristic of a leadership, characteristic of course, a good leadership and a good management? So, you can use our chat box. So, you can chat your characteristic and then type if it is leadership or management. I'm gonna write it here. Okay, I'll give you 1 minute po to answer. Okay, humanistic. Ano mo? Okay. Next is may vision. Ito rin yung sinabi nyo kanina. Okay. Responsible. Anyone for management po? Any idea about management? Organize. Yeah. Last one po. Okay, control. Thank you. Okay, so thank you so much, guys. You're very you're very good in defining this too. Okay, so first one is for the leadership. So you mentioned earlier that leadership is humanistic and sorry, nakalimutan ko pala ilagay. So sinabi nyo si leadership is humanistic. Yes, that's correct. So leaders set vision. Yes, that's correct as well, and direction. Okay, letter D na lang. So next, leadership is to guide. That's correct as well. And yan. So you mentioned also that you have visionary and responsible. Nakalimutan ko lang ilagay yung supportive. Yan. So that's all correct. So you mentioned naman po when it comes to management, so this is your own understanding. So it's a system. Okay? So when we say system, 'di ba, naka-arrange siya. So like this, it organized as well. So dito naman in control si management. Okay. Yan. So the all of your answer are correct. So this is your own perspective of having a good leadership and a management. So for both naman dito sa gitna, so dito natin ilalagay yung pagkakapareho nila. For I can see that on your answer it talks about making decision. Okay? Di ka na susulat. Aside from that, aside from that is that it solve problems. Okay? So, it support teacher, right? So, same lang din do sa sinabi nyo dito kay leadership. Next. So, it talks about work towards school goals. Okay? Dahil both of them are systematic. Okay, and then it also improve school performance since all of your answer here are all correct and positive. Okay, so thank you so much. So which one is more important in a school? So for us, lahat naman talaga importante. It depends on what kind of leader are you and depende yan sa perspective mo as a leader. Okay? So, scenario number 1. So, your school is experiencing... Okay. So, scenario number 1, your school is experiencing declining student participation. The teachers are tired, parents are concerned, and administrators need a solution. What do you think is the correct or the right way to manage this scenario? As a future educational leader, what do you think is the best way to ano ba yung way nyo para magawa ng paraan itong scenario number 1 natin? Anyone?
Hello, ma'am. Good afternoon
yes.
po.
Hi.
Yes po. During yung sa scenario challenge po, ma'am, the first thing as a school head or as a leader that we should do is that to identify the root cause analysis po. As a teacher in charge of our school, ma'am, we are always doing this every year at the start of the annual implementation plan cycle, ma'am. So there is always a problem in school. So in root cause analysis, it is not only the school head, but with the stakeholders, we are convening together with the parents, the teachers, and also the barangay officials are included. And through that convention, through that meeting, we are soliciting ideas. What are the different problems in school? And we are also the one identifying the root cause of these problems. And after identifying the root causes of these problems, we are also finding the data so that these numbers will be the basis of our decision how we are going to solve the problem. So the decision should not only come from the school head or from the teacher in charge or the principal, but the other stakeholders must collaborate with the school administration in order to identify such problem. And with the resources of the school available for the next school year, this identified problem will be addressed wherein they have to study carefully the problem, and then most probably the resources comes from the MOO imam, and of course the other stakeholders will also seek the help of the donors in order to fill in the insufficiency of the resources, ma'am, through what we call the Brigada Eskwela.
Okay, thank you so much, sir, for that. And that's correct. As a leader, you need to have collaboration, hindi lang to teacher and the school. So, kailangan din natin lumabas doon with parents and other stakeholders para magawa ng scenario. And mas maganda po na in the Philippines, I don't know kung talagang aware din talaga yung government natin sa mga nangyayari doon sa loob ng school. Kasi 'di ba ngayon nagbabago-bago na yung kung ano-ano na ini-implement nila when it comes to our education. Kaya nagkakaroon ng big adjustment ang lahat. Not only the stakeholders, the parents, students, teachers, and also the school heads. Yan. So, tama po yung sinabi ni sir. So, kailangan natin alamin ano ba yung root cause ng nangyayari, any scenario. So, yun talaga yung dapat natin alamin. And of course, we need to apply collaborative learning. Una, 'di ba, as a leader, aalamin natin muna kung bakit ba bumababa yung participation ng bata at kung bakit umaalis ang teachers, 'di ba? Yan. So, do you have any question po doon? Okay, yeah. So, I guess none. So, let's move on. Okay. So, as a leader, what would you do? So, yun na yung sinabi ni sir. So, next, let's have the rules and responsibilities of a leader. Okay. What does educational leader actually do? So, ito yung iba dito, yung nabanggit nyo na kanina. One moment. Okay, so isa-isahin kaya natin ang mga. So, number 1 is decision maker, right? So, as a leader, you need to be decisive when it comes to your decision making. Next, we have culture builder, sorry. And we also have visionary. So, kailangan maliwanag yung vision mo as a school leader. Yeah, or educational leader. Next, we also have instructional leader. So, ayan. So, kailangan dito kay instructional leader, maayos yung instruction mo and maayos ang instruction mo so that yung mga gagawa or yung mag-i-implement nitong project, for example, is magiging maganda yung outcome. Next, of course, collaborator. As we mentioned earlier, we need to collaborate with other stakeholders, parents, teachers, and the school. So people, developers. So you diba, as a leader, you need to develop people. So para lang yang sa loob ng classroom, pag nag-set ka ng rules, you need to obtain the respect, 'di ba? So you need to respect the of the people so that magkakaroon kayo ng harmonious relationship at susundin ka ng mga tao mo. Parang teacher, 'di ba? Ganun ginagawa nila sa mga student nila. So next is a change agent. Kasi ito yung pinaka-goal natin to create change with positive outcomes. Okay? So which role do you think is the most difficult and why? So as a future leader, or I know some of us is already an educational leader. So what do you think, guys, is yung pinakamahirap sa part na to as a leader? Pwede naman kayo chat na lang. Okay, I'll wait for your answer. So that we can in this lesson kasi para nakikita ko rin yung perspective nyo as an educator so that makakuha din ako ng other ideas.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah,
Can
hi.
I answer, ma'am? Through audio na
Okay,
lang.
go.
Siguro, ma'am, para sa akin, ma'am, which role do you think is the most difficult? First, dalawa ma'am yung sagot ko, ma'am. The first is pinaka-difficult siguro is people developer, because as a leader, you are the you have to lead your staff. For example, if you are the principal, you are going to lead all your teacher. So your teacher will not follow your lead if they couldn't see or if you couldn't be trusted. So as a leader, you should develop characteristics of being fair or fairness in the school atmosphere, and they should also feel safety. They should be safe in your leadership. Kasi ma'am, they couldn't function kasi they couldn't function well kapag alam nila na mayroong tension, mayroong hindi, pag mayroong bias, 'di ba? Kapag halimbawa mayroon kang pinapaboran na teacher, tapos yung isang teacher ramdam nila na hindi ka fair sa iba. So yung pagiging yung fairness yung dapat yung mag-iral. And then another is that you tend to develop them, dapat ramdam nila na as a leader, ikaw dapat ay you are very much dedicated and willing to help them. Willing to help them in a sense na pagdating sa kanilang mga personal na buhay, sa kanilang professional growth, you are the one who push them na mag-develop professionally. For example, pinupush mo sila na mag-aral pa halimbawa ng mga master's degree or doctorate degree, or i-continue yung paunlarin yung kanilang mga sarili. And then sa mga personal na kanilang mga buhay, although pagpasok ng teacher kasi yan every day sa school, may kinakaharap na kaagad na mga personal na mga problema sila sa kanilang mga bahay. So as a leader, dapat tayo mismo ay ramdam natin kung ano yung mga pangangailangan nila personally. Tapos we should be understanding sa kanilang mga pangangailangan. Halimbawa, kailangan nilang umabsent dahil may sakit yung kanilang pamilya or membro ng kanilang pamilya, kailangan nilang umabsent dahil may mga very urgent na mga matter. So as a teacher, we should be magiging sympathize sa kanilang mga nararamdaman sa kanilang personal na buhay. And of course, they will not cooperate, they will not become collaborative kapag ramdam nila na hindi mo sila tinutulungan. So dapat as a leader, dapat magiging makatao tayo sa ating mga teacher. Another is that being an instructional leader po. The goal of the principal role according to DepEd order is that 30% administrative and 70% yung pagiging instructional leader. So yung 30% na yan, yung kanyang role ay ginugugol niya sa school to manage the resources, to lead the school, to lead the school staff. Yan po. While the 70%, the majority of his or her time must be dedicated po doon to assist the teacher in his or her na pagtuturo po sa araw-araw. So ngayon, mahirap ito na role. It is because teacher viewed you as master, or tawag dito parang ikaw yung pinaka expert pagdating sa sa pagtuturo. So ngayon, yan kasi yung medyo masakit or hindi natin masyadong maramdaman sa majority ng mga principal, kasi dapat yung pagiging principal po, dapat alam mo kung ano-ano yung mga latest na trend sa pagtuturo, yung iba't ibang mga teaching strategy. Yung iba kasi is magaling lang na sa salita, sa pagre-reprimand sa kanilang mga teacher, but they do not give them yung mga technical assistance na kailangan nila sa pagtuturo. For example, tinatanong yung mga teacher, ano yung kailangan mo sa classroom mo? Ano yung assistance na kailangan mo para mas ma-elevate yung quality ng learning ng mga bata. And marami pang iba na all about paano tulungan si teacher kung paano niya pagbubutihin pa yung pagtuturo sa classroom po para makamit yung number one goal ng school na to help the learners learn the lesson. Yan talaga yung pinaka number one sa school na na goal ng bawat teacher at saka ng principal, na matuto yung mga bata. Kasi yung pinaka prime customer natin ay yung mga learners natin. So yun po ma'am, yung pinakamahirap sa akin is yung people developer at saka yung instructional leader po. Thank you ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir. Yes, very well said. So, on my own perspective, yeah, the people developer din yung sagot ko kasi it's really hard as a leader to handle it's really hard to handle people kasi we have different kinds of characteristics, personality. So, 'di ba, napakahirap humawak ng tao. Kaya believe talaga ako sa mga principal, especially yeah, sa mga school heads. Kasi kwento ko lang. So, we have here what we called school head namin. So, itong school head namin, kasi nga papasok ko lang na that time. So, parang nakakita ko yung hindi ko sila, hindi ko kilala yung mga co-teacher ko, hindi ko kilala yung school head, pero nakikita ko kapag yung school head ay, alam mo yung parang ilap kasi yung mga teacher sa kanya. Kasi nga hindi niya ito, feeling ko itong part na to, dito siya nagkaroon ng flaws. Kasi ang hirap sumunod kasi kada po may i-implement yung principal, laging may sinasabi yung mga teacher, kumbaga hindi agad siya sinusunod. Unlike po yung principal namin ngayon, kahit anong sabihin, parang puring-puri yung principal kasi nakuha niya na yung loob ng mga tao. And which is very important to handle or to be a leader, to handle people. Okay? So again, that is our own perspective. Anyone? So sino ba sa inyo yung may sagot? Decision, culture, collaborator, and change agent? Anyone from this class? Meron po ba kayong ibang sagot? Okay, I guess wala po. Okay, so let's move on to next. So here naman po is the timeline of, what do you call it? The timeline of educational leadership. So it started early 1900s, okay, up to present. So let's talk about the early 1900s. Okay, so it is what we call the traditional or authoritarian. Okay, so ito po yung leadership na meron tayo no 1900s. So leadership in this era, leadership was more traditional and authoritarian. Dito rin, So, tayo ay walang mga boses. So, tayo ay tagasunod lang doon sa namumuno. So, the principal was usually the main authority in the school. So, the focus was really on discipline, rules, and control. Okay, yan. So, moving on. So, 1910 to 1930s. Ito, we have what we call the scientific management. So, at this time naman, yung mga schools started focusing more on efficiency and productivity. So, basically, dito naman is making sure that things were organized and that school processes were working properly. So, more on management. Next. So, 1930 to 1950, human relations. Ito naman. So, pumasok na dito yung human relations approach. So, leaders started naman dito to realize that teachers are not just worker. Ito yung gustong-gusto natin ngayon for our time natin. So, nagkakaroon na tayo ng bosses who follow instruction. Their relationships, motivation, and participation are matter. Really matter. Okay? Next, 1960s to 1980s. So, we are talking about here, educational leadership. So, here naman, instructional leadership. So, this is 1960 to 1980. So, ang focus naman niya is shifted to instructional. So, the main concern was teaching and learning the curriculum, classroom instruction, and most importantly, student achievement. So, dito na papasok yung student achievement. Next. So, we have 1980s to 2000. So, here naman is what we call that transformational leadership. So, leaders were expected here to have a clear vision, encourage innovation, ayan, yung mga innovation na yan. So, work with others, dito na pumasok yung collaboration, and help school adapt to change. Ayan. So, next naman po is what we call the distributed contemporary leadership. So, from the word contemporary, it is part of contemporary era. So, this is the today's leadership na meron tayo. So, ngayon, we have distributed or contemporary leadership. So, the leadership here is no longer just the responsibility of the principal. So, hindi lang si principal ang may authority. So, it involves teachers. Ito na yung collaboration na with teachers, stakeholders. At ang maganda lang kasi talaga dito sa ating education is nangyayari talaga siya kasi may collaboration with parents. Especially, yung mga teacher, nagiging open na tayo para nagkakaroon din ng relationship yung student at yung magulang. So, nagkakaroon sila ng involvement sa learning process. Ayan. So, if we look at the whole evolution, from early 1900s to present, educational leadership basically moved from I am the leader, di ba? Kasi authoritarian lang siya. So, you follow me. To, which is today, let's work together to achieve a common goal. Yan. So, ito talaga yung nangyayari. Sa school namin, talagang nakikita ko yung involvement ng stakeholders. Ayan. So, mas maganda kasi, di ba, na na-apply din natin siya sa ating learning process or learning journey. Okay, next. So, leadership has evolved from the leader leads to leadership is shared. Yan, as I mentioned earlier. So, then versus now. So, ito na yung noon, ito na yung ngayon. So, dati, tayo ay leader-centered kasi nga nag-umpisa tayo sa authoritarian, di ba? Next. Tayo na ay people-centered. Iniisip na natin yung mga tao sa paligid natin, hindi lang yung gagawin natin. Next. Top-down decisions. Okay? Ngayon naman is collaborative decisions na. So, lahat tayo ay may boses para magbigay ng idea. So, authority, ito na rin yun. So, ngayon is influence since we have collaboration with other stakeholders. Stability. Now is adaptability. Yes. So, lahat to ay may connection sa bawat isa. So, we have individual leader. Now, we have what we call the shared leadership. And which approach is better response to today's school? So, kayo ba, sa school nyo, ano ba yung pinaka nakikita nyong na-apply nyo sa school nyo? Can you just chat it? So, you can use our chat box. So, sa school nyo, ano ba yung ginagawa ng educational leader nyo? So, based on that, or what do you think is a better response to today's school? Or what is the better approach? Anyone? Yeah, okay. So, si Sir Charles daw ay people-centered yan. Aside from that, oh yeah, si Ma Mary Gracing kami, collaborative din with Sir Paul and yeah, Sir Salvador. Yeah, thank you so much. Okay. So, again, we have different kinds of educational leadership kasi 'di ba galing naman tayo sa iba't ibang mga lugar. So, iba-iba po yung perspective and it doesn't mean na kami tatlo ay collaborative, sa kanila is people-centered, which is it doesn't mean na mas magaling kami. So, walang mas sa when it comes to leadership. Kasi 'di ba, when we say leadership right now, it is shared. So, any one of us can be a leader. So, 'di ba ganun din naman ang nangyayari sa classroom. Natutuwa lang ako kasi ina-apply yun ng mga estudyante ko. Yung pagiging leader, hindi lang to about the school. So, pwede rin natin to ma-apply sa ating mga student. Na nakikita ko is lahat sila nag-share sila. Hindi lang yung isa yung nagsasalita tapos mag-aantay na lang ng gagawin yung ibang tao. Right. Okay? So, next. So we have here, yeah, who are they? So, so nabanggitan natin to kanina, sino-sino ba yung mga involved dito? So, ito yung school admins, the DepEd, uh, kasama rin dito actually yung curriculum developers, what else? Teachers, school admins, school heads, yan. So, sila po yun. So, what makes an effective education? What makes an effective educational leader? Oh yeah. Or palitan natin question para magulo. What makes you an effective educational leader? Can you chat na lang po para mas mabilis. Para ako na lang po yung maglalagay. So again, in my class or in this discussion, there is no right or wrong answer. Kasi lahat naman tayo is possible maging educational leader. Okay, you can use our chat box po. So nakalimutan ko lang pala, add ko lang pala for the involvement or the people involved in educational leader. Kasama dito yung ating division, yung superintendent. So here in WCC, we have the college dean, university administrator, kasama rin sila. Yan. So of course, meron din yung TESDA. So anyone from this class, so can you give me, if you will be a leader, what makes you an effective educational leader? Okay. So, ito yung sagot ng isa nating kasama. Okay. So, yung another answer, Okay. Last one na lang para po ma-discuss ko na siya. Okay, thank you. Okay, so let us read your answers. So number one, sumagot is his or her experience as a teacher and his or her ability to understand people from different perspective, which is tama. Okay. So, naging open din siya for different perspective. After several years of teaching, I have learned that leadership is not simply about giving instruction. It is about listening, communicating, and motivating people. And that is number one, to motivate people and to listen. Okay, yan. So that you reach a common goal. So, another answer is an effective leader, dapat ilagay mo din yung sarili mo. Yes, you need to be empathic. Dapat empath ka. Kada problema na papasok sa'yo, naiintindihan mo sila saan ba sila nanggagaling. Yan. Next, strategic analyzer. So you need to be decisive. You need to have a strategy kasi the problem is always there. So you need to be smart or you need to be intelligent at kailangan madiskarte ka. Ano kaya yung mga possible na ways? And you need always, kung may plan B ka, do it until plan Z, right? So last is responsible, honest, supportive, and approachable. So eto, ang ganda lang nitong ano niya to, fair and visionary. Nararamdaman kasi natin as a teacher kapag yung principal or your school head is unfair. Nararamdaman din natin kapag tayo ay pinapakinggan. So parang kapag tayo pinapakinggan, 'di ba parang sa classroom, nakikita ko yung mga estudyante ko pagka ano ko na papakinggan ko sila, parang mas nag-o-open up sila, mas lumalapit sila, nag-a-approach. So, mas madali tayo mag-implement ng, ano natin, ng rules, di ba? Ayan. So, thank you so much, guys. Lahat po nung binanggit nyo ay correct. So, okay, next. So, eto naman po yung ideal ko as the reporter. So, number one is strategic thinking. So, pumasok din po dito yung mga sinabi nyo kanina, communication. You need to have a good communication with your people. Hindi lang sa admin, sa teacher, as long as the parent din. Collaboration, ayan, with our stakeholder, teacher, parents. And ito, emotional intelligence. Yan talaga yung number one. Kailangan meron ka ring puso sa mga ano mo lang. Hindi, as a leader, hindi pwedeng matalino ka lang. Okay? So, innovation. Ayan. Actually, ang ganda lang nitong innovation na to. Sa school namin, nakikita ko yung innovation. Talagang as a school head or a leader, accountable ka ng pagandahin yung school. Hindi lang pagandahin yung sistema. Kaya, 'di ba, since sa public school pa iba-iba ng principal or kahit sa private school, 'di ba, magpapalitan din. So kailangan yung magandang nasimulan na ng dean ay kailangan sundan mo 'yun kasi para hindi mawala yung sistema, para din ma-motivate yung mga tao na mas mag-work pa. Okay? Next. Ayan. So, we also have decisive and of course, as a principal or educational leader, you need to be supportive. Ayan. Okay, next. So, you rate yourself as a participant to rate them. So, ito, i-rate nyo lang. So, kada tanong ko, maglalagay lang po kayo ng number 1 to 5. So, 1 is needs significant development. Okay. So, ito yung pinakamababa. Number 2, developing. Number 3, competent. And number 4, strong. And number 5, highly competent. So, okay. Get ready, guys. So, punta na po kayo dun sa chat box. So, I'm going to show a specific characteristic and then you rate yourself. So, be honest na lang. Okay? So, again, there's no right or wrong answer. Ito yung rate nyo lang naman sa sarili. Number 1, communication. So this is you as a future educational leader. Okay, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Kindly rate yourself. Anyone? Wala naglalagay. Ayan. So, thank you. Ayan na. Andyan pa andyan pala kayo. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, guys. Ayan. So, okay. Ayan na, rating sa sarili niyo. Next. Okay. It's all right. Number 2, decision making. You are really good in decision making. Ayan. So don't be shy to give a 5. Kung gano'n naman kayo, it's all right. Yan. Okay, next. Strategic thinking. So ayan, magaling kayo sa strategy as a leader. Ayan, good job. Thank you. Yan, nagagaling naman pala ng ating mga future educator o educational leaders. Next, emotional intelligence. Ayan. So, I hope mataas yung score niyo dyan. Okay, yan. So, anyone yan? 5. Yan. Thank you. Next, innovation. So, kayo ay mag-a-add ng innovation sa schools. Yan. Wow, thank you so much. So, most likely 5 tayo dito. Since we are millennials ba or Gen Z? Okay, yan. So, tayo ang mga future educational leaders. Next, adaptability. Ayan. Okay, next is data-informed decision making. Okay, thank you so much. And which competency received your highest score? Parang feeling ko ako na sasagot ito sa emotional intelligence. Which one needs the most development? Kayo, can you type? Ano dyan yung para sa inyo yung need mo i-develop pa? Yeah. Okay. Siya naman, I see. Sir Randy, kay decision making. Yes, dahil napakahirap naman talaga maging leader and decision making kasi hawak mo yung buong school. Next, yeah, decision making din. Last one. Okay, yes. Tama, Sir Paul. So, communication, sometimes ang hirap yes, tama. Ito talaga yung pinakamahirap. So, I have mentioned and Sir Randy, I guess, na sabi niya yung people developer, di ba? Yeah. So, doon tayo sa communication, tama. Okay, thank you. So, ibig sabihin nito, guys, so meaning to say, when we become an educational leader, we need to be, hindi naman people pleaser, pero kailangan natin magkaroon ng strategy para makuha yung loob ng mga taong mas mababa sa atin kasi tayo yung look forward nila kasi tayo yung leader Yan. Okay, next. So, contemporary challenges facing educational leaders. Kayo ba sa school nyo, what is the most difficult or what is the number one contemporary challenges na i-experience nyo sa school nyo. Or if yung iba hindi sa school, sa office. Can you give one so that yes, ito number one, actually. Miscommunication, tama, Sir Charles. Yeah, ito, pag may school evaluation, tama yung number one dyan sa public school, IPCRF. Okay? Alam niyo yung feeling ng ano, hindi ko alam kung power tripping ba yung term doon, pero feeling mo magaling ka naman, pero ang baba nung nakukuha yung score. Na-experience na ba yun, guys? So, eto, yeah, collaboration. Eto, tama. Actually, tama lahat sa sagot nyo. Okay, so collaboration. Meron tayo kasing tinatawag actually sa DepEd. Di ba sinabi na ng DepEd na magkipag-collab tayo sa ibang subject. For example, MAPE kami, di ba? So, kailangan makipag-collab kami sa English, sa AP, kasi di ba may mga sayaw-sayaw. O yan. So, pwede kami makipag-collab. Kaya lang, there is a miscommunication. Kaya nangyayari, imbis na matulungan natin yung bata na mapaunti or mabawasan yung mga performance tasks nila, ang nangyayari po kasi hindi pumapayag yung, sa amin lang to ha, hindi pumapayag yung ibang department na makikipag-collab sa atin. Kasi nga, parang syempre may sarili din silang, ito yung gusto ko. Pagka binigyan or in-offeran tayo, ito yung competencies. So, mamaya hindi naman nila nagustuhan yung ganun. So, ayan. So, communication talaga. Communication is the key. So, school namin is more or less 5 evaluation per hour. Pwede po pakichat kung naririnig ako.
Ngayon now, kanina hindi.
Okay. Sorry. Thank you po na ano po yung internet. So, I will repeat na lang yung sinabi ko na yun. So, sabi kasi ni Sir Paul is meron siya more or less 5 evaluation for academic year. So, as a person naman, kasi 'di ba minsan mababa din talaga yung nakukuha natin sa performance. Ayan. So, sabi ko lang is it doesn't mean na kapag mababa yung nakuha natin or it doesn't mean na it will define us. Parang yun lang yung sabi ko kanina. Yeah. So, add ko lang dito for our contemporary challenges, guys. So, we can actually relate. Actually, nakaka-relate talaga tayong lahat, lalo na teachers. To this, to our experience here in the Philippines, particularly in DepEd. So, one major challenge is curriculum change, diba? So, ayan, number one talaga yan. So, for example, alam niyo yung pagpasok natin, 3 term agad, and we don't know what is the process, and then, hindi pa naka-ready yung instructional materials, alam niyo yun? So, parang, super adjustment talaga yung nangyayari. Especially this time sa department namin, yung grade 9, grade 10, grade 9 and grade 10, nagkaroon sila ng revised curriculum, what do you call it, seminar. So, hindi pa nga nila na, yung matatag, nagkaroon na naman tayo ng 3 terms. Okay? Ayun, doon lang, adjustment lang. So, pati yung mga bata nagkaka-adjust. So, ayan. So, para siyang domino effect eh. As a teacher, again, we experience this adjustment whenever there are new curriculum, guidelines, competencies, and learning materials. So, meron pa, another challenge also is teacher workload, di ba? Yan. So, in our school naman, yung ibang school overload, yung iba naman underload. Ang mahirap po kasi, here sa DepEd kasi, kailangan mo may gawin pang other side para madagdagan yung workload mo. For example, ako, kailangan ko maging clinician, yung iba naman, librarian, ganun. So, internal, ano na lang po yun. So, next, ano pa? Yung handle ng teacher ng paperwork, assessment, school activities, especially right now, for the first term, dalawang summative tests and then one term exam. Ayun. So, there is also the challenge of technology and AI. So, educational leaders need to make sure, di ba, that teachers and students know how to use technology responsibly. Totoo to, kasi meron kami mga kasamahan na 20 years in service, hindi na sila ganun kaano ng AI. So, we need to guide our colleagues as well. So yeah. And lastly, there is the issue of accountability and transparency. So leaders manage public resource, so they need to make decisions that are transparent. So ayun nga yung nangyayari ngayon dito sa ating bansa. Okay, and that's it. So, and many more. So, kung iisa-isahin natin, sobrang dami talaga. But, again, as a future leader, we need to look this picture as a positive. So, kaya nga tayo yung leader, tayo yung magbubukas ng mind nila na itong negative na nangyayari sa atin is we will make it positive. Ganon. So, eto, leadership in basic, higher, and other educational settings. So, sino-sino ba sila? So, educational setting, basic, higher, and tech voc education and training, and other educational systems. So, for example, for basic education, DepEd, o elementary and high school. So, higher education, ito yung CHED, so colleges and university. For tech voc, TESDA. So, other educational settings is the ALS. Ayan. So, who are you as, ito nasabi ko na to kanina. So, ayan, let's wrap it up. So pagsamasamahin na natin lahat ng nasabi ko kanina. So, hindi ko na i-explain masyado ito since we already know that. Okay. So, to wrap it up, our discussion about educational leader, we can see that, leadership is more than just having a position. Tama? Okay. So, it's being the person in charge. So, tayo yun. So, mag-uumpisa talaga sa atin. Okay? It is about influencing, guiding, listening, ayan. And working with people, which is to reach a common goal. So, kailangan talaga natin yung mga tao na nasa baba natin as a leader. Hindi tayo gagana kung wala sila. Okay? Para lang yung architect or engineer, hindi mabubuo yung bahay kapag wala yung mga gagawa ng bahay. Yan. So we also saw how educational leadership was evolved from traditional to more that focus more on authority to contemporary leadership, which is yung ginagawa natin ngayon, which is shared values, collaboration, innovation, and shared responsibility. And as educator, we also face different challenges, as I mentioned earlier. And for me, a good educational leader is someone who does not simply say, follow me. Instead, they say, diba, let's work together. Leadership starts with listening, understanding, and lahat na talaga ng characteristic na positive. Yun talaga, para maging effective leader ka. And of course, leader also fail. It doesn't mean naman na kapag leader ka, hindi ka nag-fail, you are perfect. So, ayan. So, and at the end of the day, the success of educational leader is not measured only by how well they manage a school, but how many people they inspire, support, and help grow. Alam niyo yung pakiramdam na, dito lang sa school head namin, ang tagal na nilang mga principal na wala na sila sa school. pero nababanggit pa rin yung pangalan. Parang ang sarap ng gano'n na hindi na ikaw yung nagle-lead sa specific institution, pero ikaw yung bukang bibig nila. And that's all. Thank you so much.
Okay, so thank you to our presenter for that comprehensive and meaningful discussion. Our central realization is that educational leadership is a dynamic process of influencing people and mobilizing institutional resources toward a shared educational purpose. It is not limited to school heads or administrator because leadership may also be exercised by teachers, no, coordinators, department chairs, students, community partners, policy makers, and other stakeholders. Nevertheless, formal educational leaders carry the uh, significant responsibility of ensuring instructional quality, promoting professional growth, protecting learner welfare, maintaining accountability, and creating an inclusive institutional culture. Effective leadership therefore combines vision with implementation, authority with accountability, and organizational performance with genuine concern of people. So the presenter also emphasizes that contemporary educational leaders require competency beyond traditional administrative knowledge. They must demonstrate instructional and curriculum leadership, strategic thinking, ethics decision making or ethical decision making, communication, collaboration, financial and human resource management, data-informed planning, digital competence, cultural responsiveness, and crisis leadership. And these competencies are essential because educational leaders are confronting learning gaps, no? Technological disruption, teacher workload and well-being concern, financial limitations, changing learner needs, demands for inclusion, climate-related risk, misinformation, and growing public information or expectation. A future-ready leader does not simply react to these challenges, such as leader anticipates change, builds an institutional resilience, encourage innovation, and empowers others to participate in developing solutions. Again, educational leadership must be understood as influence, service, and institutional stewardship. Influence gives direction, service places learners and communities at the center, and stewardship ensures that the institution missions, resources, values, and reputation are protected for future generations. In the Philippine context, leaders must respond to local realities, baha, at kung ano-ano pa, including including resource disparities actually, cultural diversity, policy implementation gaps, yung sinabi natin kanina, no, disaster risk and unequal access to technology while remaining informed by global developments in education. So the effectiveness of an educational leader is measured not merely by position, popularity, or compliance reports, but by the leader's ability to improve training, develop people, uphold ethical principles, inspire collective responsibility, and leave the institution stronger, more equitable, and more prepared for the future. So thank you so much to our presenter and good afternoon.